Welcome, dear friends, to a space of solace and encouragement, a sanctuary where hope meets the heart. Have you ever found yourself engulfed by shadows, feeling lost and overwhelmed, as if the weight of the world rests on your shoulders? If so, you're not alone. In moments of despair, it's easy to forget that we are not abandoned. The truth is, in the quiet corners of our souls, there exists a powerful promise. Be still, for God is already working it out. Today, we invite you to embark on a journey with us, one that will remind you of God's unwavering faithfulness, even when the path feels uncertain. Together, we will explore how His light breaks through the murky clouds of doubt, leading us to safety and rest. As we delve into this shared narrative of struggle and triumph, allow your spirit to be renewed in the understanding that every trial is a stepping stone towards divine grace. Prepare to open your heart and mind as we uncover the beauty in stillness, the power of prayer, and the incredible strength found in community. Join us as we illuminate the truth that even in our darkest hours, God is intricately at work, orchestrating miracles, and all we need to do is trust in His good and perfect plan. Hit that notification bell and let's dive deep into the assurance that no shadow can diminish the light of His love. As we navigate through life, we often find ourselves engulfed by shadows that cloud our vision and weigh heavily on our spirits. Those shadows could be made up of grief, uncertainty, fear, or heartbreak. They wrap around our hearts, squeezing tightly as we search for hope amid despair. Yet, among those shadows, it's crucial to remember that the darkness is not the end of our story. Instead, it's a temporary passage that leads to something greater. God is crafting a narrative in our lives, one that includes moments of testing but ultimately guides us toward divine rest. The heaviness we feel often serves as a precursor to profound revelations, moments when we can see His light break through like a sunrise spilling warmth across a cold winter morning. It's not easy to sit in stillness when the world around us seems chaotic and loud. Our minds race with what-ifs, our hearts bear the weight of unanswered prayers, and our spirits long for resolution. Yet, it's in that stillness, that sacred pause, that we truly connect with God's presence. We often mistake busyness for productivity, believing that our constant activity will somehow cause the clouds to part. But stillness is where clarity emerges. It's where we hear the gentle reminders that He is working tirelessly on our behalf. It's in those quiet moments that we find the strength to reclaim our trust, to breathe in peace, and to surrender our burdens, leaning into the truth that He is firm and steady, always moving on our behalf, even when we can't see it. The promise of light is one that cuts through every despair and disillusionment we face. Imagine standing in the deepest shadows when suddenly a crack of light pierces through, illuminating your path. This light isn't just a fleeting moment. It's the essence of God's love and guidance. He assures us that no matter how deep our struggles may seem, His light will find a way to break through. In moments of desperation, we must remind ourselves of stories that illustrate this truth, the times of trial when God's light led others from despair into abundance. It's all part of our divine narrative, an affirmation that our current season is poised for transformation, a transition towards healing and hope. Life is a journey, often filled with twists and turns we never anticipated or prepared for. Each path we wander may seem fraught with challenges, each encounter might feel overwhelming, yet every moment carries with it a purpose designed by our Creator. As we grapple with confusion and anxiety, it's essential to cast our eyes toward the horizon, where hope lies just beyond our current struggles. When we consciously choose to trust in God's timing, we open the door to miracles, to unexplained relief, to the unexpected joy that follows even the deepest pain. The journey teaches us resilience. It nurtures our spirit and refines our character, preparing us for the rich blessings that await us just ahead. Every heart has a unique melody. Some notes may be joyful, while others resonate with grief. Yet, even in our darkest symphonies, God's hand orchestrates a beautiful arrangement. When the world feels heavy and our hearts ache, it's vital to remember that He is harmonizing the dissonance, merging the highs and lows into a glorious piece of art. This is the essence of hope, the belief that our struggles contribute to a greater purpose. As we tune into His melody, we discover that our deepest sorrows can, indeed, become sources of strength, transforming us into vessels that can carry His light and love into the darkest places. Rest is not a privilege. It's a holy invitation from God, offering solace in the middle of chaos. In our frantic pursuit of answers and resolutions, we often overlook the power of simply dropping our burdens at His feet and resting in His presence. Imagine the lush meadows and still waters promised in Scripture, a haven where we can lay down our worries and embrace the tranquility that comes from knowing we are cared for. True rest is supernatural. It's a gift bestowed upon us when we relinquish control and trust that God is already moving in our midst. As we close our eyes and breathe deeply, we feel His calming embrace enveloping us, assuring us that we don't have to fight alone. The road ahead may be uncertain, paved with questions and challenges that may shake our faith. Yet, therein lies the beauty of belief, embracing the unknown with confidence that God's plans will come to fruition. Each obstacle presents an opportunity for growth, each valley a lesson in perseverance. The shadows may scream of despair, but we must hold steadfast to the truth that He is leading us toward victory. There's a purpose behind every step we take. Every moment of confusion is a stepping stone toward a clearer sight of His promise. Embracing the road ahead with open hearts allows us to witness how beautifully God crafts our stories and carries us gently through life's most arduous journeys. In a world frequently characterized by uncertainty, God extends an invitation to trust. Not a blind trust, but one rooted deeply in His unfailing love and faithfulness. We often struggle to release our grip on situations, panicking over outcomes beyond our control. Yet, when we shift our focus from our problems to His promises, we are met with a comforting truth. God is already at work, intricately planning our way. This divine assurance reminds us that we are not alone. He walks beside us, guiding and sheltering. It's an invitation that invites us to dive deeper into our relationship with Him, to transform our anxieties into prayers, and to lean wholeheartedly into His ever-present grace. Miracles often come disguised as little moments tucked away in the fabric of our everyday lives. We grow accustomed to waiting for the earth-shattering events that signify change, yet God delights in performing quiet miracles that shift our hearts and minds. A kind word from a stranger, a moment of clarity in prayer, or an unexpected blessing on a seemingly ordinary day can serve as signs that we are indeed moving toward the light. These moments remind us to keep our eyes wide open, to recognize the beauty of God's handiwork among us, and to celebrate the many victories that propel us toward our greater destinies. Just as spring follows a long winter, so too do these small miracles herald new beginnings. Taking the next step can feel daunting, especially when shadows loom large, but courage doesn't mean the absence of fear. It's the decision to move forward despite it. When we lean into God's promises, we trade our uncertainty for newfound strength, prepared to step boldly into His plan, Every leap of faith, no matter how small, anchors us deeper in our trust in Him. As we gather the courage to face each day, we discover the beauty of resilience, our spirits ignited not by what we can see, but by who He is. It's the adventurous journey of faith, marked by moments of fear transformed into fortitude, forging a path that leads to a remarkable encounter with God's grace. Surrendering is not losing. It is gaining a deeper understanding and intimacy with God. The act of letting go often feels insurmountable, especially when we've carried burdens for so long. But when we embrace surrender, we unlock the door to profound transformation. In relinquishing our stranglehold on our circumstances, we create space for God to move, to heal, and to work miracles beyond our comprehension. It's an act of faith that reminds us of our reliance upon Him, releasing our understanding and visions for our lives. The transformation that follows inspires us to cast our anxieties aside, look forward with hope, and trust wholeheartedly in the new possibilities God is crafting as we surrender our lives into His hands. Gratitude shifts our focus from what we lack to the abundance already surrounding us. When we cultivate a heart of thankfulness, we begin to see the fingerprints of God in our lives, unraveling miracles in the mundane. It's easy to be consumed by worries about the future, but gratitude for the present moment grounds us in the here and now. By acknowledging what we appreciate, we invite joy and peace into our lives, allowing His goodness to infuse our spirits. Thankfulness opens our eyes to see how God has been weaving His story through our lives, strengthening our faith and guiding us through shadows into light. In the journey of faith, the unseen becomes one of the most beautiful aspects of our relationship with God. We may not feel His presence directly, but through the movements of our lives, we understand His hand at work behind the scenes. Every trial, every moment of confusion becomes an opportunity for us to recognize how intricately He is involved in our daily walks. It's a paradox of faith. The deeper we delve into the unseen, the more we understand His faithfulness. The shadows fade as we allow our faith to flourish, tethered to the truth that He is always orchestrating our lives in ways we can't begin to fathom. We weren't meant to walk this path alone. The community of believers provides strength, support, and encouragement when shadows threaten to overshadow our joy. Our stories intertwine, creating a beautiful tapestry of shared experiences, victories, losses, and growth. In our collective journeys, we discover reminders of God's goodness and the reminder that we are not alone in our struggles. When we gather together, we fuel each other's faith and ignite hope anew. In sharing our burdens, we experience the comforting truth that God's light shines brighter when we join hands, walking together through the valleys toward His promised restoration. Hope is not a mere feeling. It's an anchor for our souls during the stormiest seas. Anchoring our hope in God's faithfulness transforms our perspective amid life's trials, helping us navigate the tumult with steadiness. We can rest assured that although life throws challenges our way, our unwavering faith in Him propels us forward. Like an anchor holding fast in turbulent waters, our hope in God's promises keeps us grounded. With every storm we weather, our faith deepens, giving rise to a hope that does not disappoint. It becomes a lifeline guiding us through the shadows and reminding us of the light that surrounds us even in our darkest hours. Prayer is one of the most vital tools we possess in our quest for peace amidst chaos and uncertainty. It serves as a direct line to our Creator, a channel through which we express our deepest fears and hopes. In those quiet moments when we feel lost, pouring our hearts out to God can bring about a transformation that is both powerful and refreshing. It's in those heartfelt conversations that we find not only solace but also clarity. Miraculously, as we pray, we often discover that God is already working on the very issues that keep us awake at night. Each whispered prayer acts as a thread woven into the beautiful tapestry of our lives, culminating in miraculous outcomes that emerge from our faith-filled requests. Often, our circumstances can feel all-consuming, leading us to view life's challenges as insurmountable. However, it's crucial to step back and examine the situation from a broader perspective. When we look beyond the surface, we begin to notice the hidden blessings that God bestows upon us even in moments of hardship. Perhaps a friendship surfaces that supports us through our trials, or a lesson learned transforms our lives in unexpected ways. This realization encourages us to seek the silver lining in our shadows, a testament that God enriches our journeys even in the valleys. By recognizing these subtle gifts, we can cultivate an attitude of gratitude and shift our focus from the struggle to the myriad ways God is already at work in our lives. Life can be likened to a beautifully written novel where each chapter unfolds new adventures, lessons, and growth. Sometimes the pages may seem overwhelmingly dark with dramatic twists and turns, but each plot point serves a purpose in the overarching story. As we journey through difficulties, we must remember that God is the author of our lives, and He is crafting a grand narrative that perfectly intertwines our struggles with His grace. It's in these moments of uncertainty that we must cling tightly to our faith, trusting that every trial leads us closer to our purpose. While we may not see the full picture now, we can rest assured that God is writing something incredible. Our faith will eventually unveil the beautiful design He has in store. Patience is an often overlooked virtue that God cultivates within us as we traverse life's turbulent waters. In a world that values instant gratification, it's easy to grow frustrated when resolutions seem distant. Yet, patience is the soil in which trust and faith can truly flourish. As we wait for God to work things out in our lives, we learn to rely not on our timing, but on His perfect schedule. This process grants us deeper insight into our desires and equips us with resilience to face life's challenges. Embracing patience allows us to cultivate character, reminding us that the journey is just as meaningful as the destination. In stillness, we discover that every moment spent in waiting is an opportunity for growth and a testament to God's unwavering presence. There are days when hope may feel like a distant friend, barely within our reach. During those difficult times, it's essential to lean into the support of fellow believers and the promises we find in Scripture. Of all the provisions God offers us, His promises are the most steadfast. They serve as anchors during the storms of life, providing reassurance that we are not alone. Each promise, whether it's about healing, provision, or guidance, is a reminder that God is actively at work, aligning our paths with His divine purpose. In those moments when hope wanes, repeated declarations of His promises bring light back into our souls, nurturing our faith and reigniting a passion for life that we thought we'd lost. Forgiveness is a powerful tool that can illuminate the darkest of paths. Often, we carry heavy burdens of resentment or hurt that cloud our perception of God's goodness. However, embracing forgiveness doesn't just free those who have wronged us, it releases us from the shackles of pain, allowing us to step into the light of healing. When we choose to forgive, we act in alignment with God's heart, shedding the weight of bitterness that clouds our vision. It opens our eyes to see how God is already working in our lives, transforming our experiences into moments of grace. Forgiveness paves the way for restoration, bringing peace where chaos once reigned and empowering us to move forward in love. While the journey of faith is deeply personal, it's also a communal experience that thrives in the context of relationship and fellowship. The bonds we share with fellow believers strengthen our resilience and faith, especially during times of trial. Surrounding ourselves with a community of like-minded individuals offers support, encouragement, and shared wisdom, reminding us that we are not alone. Church gatherings, small groups, or simply sharing our struggles with trusted friends allow us to find comfort and inspiration. God often works through these communal ties, demonstrating His goodness through the words, prayers, and actions of others. In this network of support, we can experience the tangible evidence of God's faithfulness, even in our most challenging moments. There is an exquisite beauty found in resting in God's presence. This rest is not simply the absence of activity. It is an active engagement with His heart, a chance to be enveloped in His love and grace. When we pause to refocus our minds on Him, we rediscover peace and assurance, refreshing our weary souls. During our times of solitude, we can relinquish our worries and listen for His gentle whispers, assuring us of His guidance and protection. It is in this sacred space that our burdens become lighter and our hopes rekindled, inspiring us to press on into our futures with renewed vigor. As we learn to abide in His presence, we find the strength to navigate life's uncertainties with grace. Joy and grief may seem like opposing forces, yet they often coexist within us, revealing the complexities of our emotions. When grief becomes our companion, it can feel impossible to imagine joy ever returning. However, God is a master of weaving joy into our lives, even during our deepest sorrows. By allowing ourselves to grieve fully, we open pathways for healing and transformation that ultimately lead us toward joy. God invites us to embrace the full spectrum of our emotions, promising that in mourning we may find comfort and in healing, joy will bloom. As we chase joy amidst our grief, we learn that it is not the absence of sadness, but the presence of God that brings us hope and renewal. The journey of faith is ongoing, filled with successes and setbacks, triumphs and trials. Each moment we experience adds a layer to the complex and beautiful narrative that is our walk with Christ. We may stumble and fall, but with each step our faith deepens and evolves. Sometimes the moments when we feel furthest from God are the very times that He is working the hardest on our behalf. We need to embrace the continuous nature of our journey and treasure the lessons learned along the way. The end goal may not be perfection, but an authentic relationship with Him, where each trial transforms us into reflections of His grace. As we traverse this sacred path, we are reminded that faith is a journey marked by growth, evolution, and endless possibilities. As we reflect on our lives and the journey we have undertaken, there is a profound beauty in trusting God's goodness, a core tenet that underpins every experience. No matter how challenging our circumstances may be, our steadfast hope in His love and plans gives us the courage to face each day with anticipation. Each trial reveals an opportunity to witness His faithfulness, reminding us that His light breaks through even the darkest moments. We learn to trust not in our understanding, but in His divine wisdom and purpose. In surrendering our fears and uncertainties, we create space for His goodness to manifest, crafting a life filled with hope, peace, and love. Remember, no matter how deep the shadows may seem, God is indeed working it out for our good. Together, let us choose to lean into His grace and step boldly into His light.